we are going to see this kind of architecture where I have a folder. Within that folder there are 2 or 3 packet files. Now I want to scan the folder. I want to get list of all the packet files. I will loop on each packet file. Okay, based on the name, I will based on the name of packet file, I will go and extract some data from the name itself, and that is nothing but the name of SQL table. Then I have a Excel file somewhere in my storage account in some container. So based on the name I received from the file, okay, the table name I received based on the packet file, using that table name loop I will loop and I will extract the table related information or the metadata of table from the Excel. After getting the Excel metadata, after getting the tables metadata from Excel, next target is use the file name, use this data and call a stored procedure. Here I am passing the name of packet file plus I am passing the table information of that particular table to stored procedure. So the stored procedure now receives everything. Now it will execute. It will take the table metadata, create lot of insert, update, delete queries based on the column list, and it can create external tables and all that. So we will see this thing. So first thing first, the pipeline where we will scan the folder and get all the list of files. So here we are. This is get metadata activity. This is a pipeline. Okay, this is a get metadata activity. After that we have a for each activity. So within get metadata, give the name. Okay, give the name, go to setting, and within setting you have to create a data set. You have to create a data set, and data set is nothing but the folder where your files are located. All the packet files are located. So here is my container name and this is the subfolder name. I don't give the file name because there are number of files. So just give this, test the connection, and if that particular Gen2 storage account is there, so the connection will be successful. Come back. Now see, here are the child elements. Okay, you get lot of options here. See, the atom name means the folder name, but child atoms means all the files within that folder. Got it? Atom name means folder name, and child name means child atom means all the folder within the all the files within that folder. So child items gives you the collection of files. We'll debug it and we will see what we get. After the collection, now this is collection. Now I want to pass this collection to for each loop because I cannot iterate the collection unless and until I use a for each loop. So this is a second activity. Within that activity again give the name. Within setting you have to give a dynamic expression, and that expression is nothing but just come here and check where is your metadata. This is the metadata. You want child items, all the list. Okay, you want the list of all the files. That's why you choose this child items. Okay, so once you choose the child item, expression like this, always remember at the rate is must at the first place and later on your expression. So this is activity loop files. Within loop file, whatever the output is, that output contain list of all files of that folder. So child item is nothing but the number of, the collection of files of that folder. Once this is done, this for each loop is okay. And now the activities. So now I want, just like our normal for each loop. Let's say here is my for each loop. You remember the for each loop, like for x in, let's say, collection 1. So instead of collection, now we have a child items. Okay, but where is the x? So we'll create this x inside, and unless and until you create x, you cannot iterate it. You cannot iterate. So you need the x thing. Okay, this is the child items. Whatever we have seen here, okay, it is the child item. It is not the x. So we are creating our iteration variable, and that is inside. See here, use a set variable. Use a set variable activity, and within set variable you have to do, give the name, go to variables. Okay, and here you just choose the for each iterator. You are inside for each iterator, just choose the for each iterator, and you get something like this, item dot name. So whatever item is there, whatever x is there, okay, this at the rate item name represent your x. It is nothing but x. So now whatever elements you have in that collection, one by one, those elements will come here within this x variable, within this variable input file. After input file, now I want to check what is the name it received, okay, in this variable. And there are two conditions. If the name is of so and so format, I will treat it as true, otherwise I will treat it as false. So now I am in if condition. In if condition, there are two activities, but the expression, where to switch. So this is the expression. It expression says whatever the value of variable is, if that value contains index of contains. Here one more thing, here dot index of, it is equivalent to contains. In our normal .NET or Java we use contains, here we use index of. So in this variable, whatever for each loop or whatever x variable or iteration variable, if that particular variable contain underscore, okay, so that's why greater 1. If the index of is 0, it means it doesn't contain underscore. If the index of is more than 0 or more than 1 or 1, then it will return you true or false. Okay, this expression will itself return you true or false, and based on that true or false, this if condition will be evaluated. Now once I evaluate the if condition, now our flow is something like this. How we started, that we get we actually started with folder. Okay, now within folder we know that there are, let's say, 5 files, any kind of file, but I use packet file right now. 5 files. Now within that file, within that collection of 5 files, I have to first use a for each loop on that file, like this. Okay, so I have this x variable now. Now what I will do with x, I will use a if condition. What that if condition will do, it will evaluate whether x contains, the file name contains underscore or not. This is my some criteria. Other based on that there will be two answers possible. One is the true, another answer is false. Okay, now I am going inside. I mean whether it is true or false, I have retrieved the table name. Let's say suppose if it is true, what I am doing here, another variable I have created, and if you see the expression of that variable, it's something like this. Now what that expression said, in case of true, I am again here the aim is extract table name, and here also the aim is extract table name. Okay, in both cases our aim is to extract table name. But how I have extracted table name in case of true? So here is the expression, dynamic expression, which you have to check what I have done. I have used substring function. The first parameter it requires is whatever the string value where you have to do the substring operation. So I have given the variable input file name. Let's say it is some prefix, then some table name, and then some suffix. This is the format of this input file. I just write it down: prefix, then underscore, then some tbl name, hyphen, and then suffix. Suppose this is the input file name. Okay, this is the input. This is the way I have constructed the input file name. In some cases, this input file name appears like just table name, neither suffix nor prefix. Now what happens? There are two possible cases. If this is the case, what I am doing, okay, get the name, do the substring. But for substring, what we require? Three parameters. First, the string itself, then we want start and we want end. Okay, so this represent the start variable. So I can assume like this. Okay, this is substring, this is my original string, comma, this is the start index. Okay, and this is the end index. To replicate this thing, here is the formula I have done. First the original string, then index of underscore, and add one value to it. Okay, that's why add. We cannot write +1 here. We have to use in this dynamic expression, we have to use add function. So add 1. So whatever, let's say it get index value of, let's say, 10. Okay, so 10 plus 1, 11. So this will represent, let's say, 11. So my start index become, let's say, 11. Okay, here what I'm doing, I'm first extracting the index of hyphen, because I said there is a hyphen word. So index of hyphen, let's say it is 15. Okay, let's say it is 15. Then see, we want end index. So what we will do first, we will also consider the same above expression here also, that is underscore. So let's say it's something like this. First I detected at position 15, or at position, let's say, 20, I got hyphen. Okay, and I want to do 11. So whatever, let's say, value here 11, I have subtracted it. So 20 minus 11 is 9. So my start index and my end index, in this way I have set up, and then I get the table name itself. So the substring works like this. First take the variable original string, then index of prefix, I mean hyphen, underscore, then index of suffix minus index of prefix. Okay, I mean whatever the separator word character you have. So in this case, this is the prefix, this is the suffix. This is underscore, where it says that here prefix end, and it indicates that here suffix start, and middle substring is this one. So overall output of this is whatever your table name is. So the overall output of this expression is table name. We will go back to here, to this expression, and say this is the table name. This is how I calculated the table name. Okay, go back to for each, and then here again we have now in else condition. I think there is no need to do any kind of dynamic expression calculation, just because there are some cases where there are no prefix, no suffix. Simple table name is the name which I will receive. That's why here simple expression as it is variable name. So in both cases, see, set table name is the variable I have used. Here also I think if condition, the variable name is set to set table name. So same variable I have set, whether it is a if condition or else condition. Now after that, after this if condition, whatever result we get is nothing but the table name. So here is the table name which I received, and that I received from if condition. I am inside for loop. Okay, I am inside for loop. This is the variable, I mean this is the file name. Then the if condition retrieves a table name for us. Till now it is okay. Now I have used lookup activity also. Why lookup activity? As I said, let's say I have a Excel file, and that Excel, I just show you some Excel file first, then I will discuss about. So let's say this is the Excel file, and if I right click here, you can see there are a number of sheets created. Each sheet represent a table. Okay, so let's say I am going to the transaction rules. Okay, as I say transaction rules, here is the schema of that particular table. Table name, column name, data type, data length, precision, scale, like this. This is how the structure is. So this is structure which I retrieved from, let's say, Oracle, and I dumped it in this Excel file. There is one script with me. That script is in Python, and it connect with Oracle, and it get the data from Oracle, and it write it in a separate sheet for each table in a separate sheet of this Excel. So let's say in this pipeline which I have shown you, the input file name, okay, it is a paraquet file name. Out of that, the if condition is there, and I got a table name, and let's say the table name is transaction rules. But where is the data of the transaction rule? So it is inside this Excel. The metadata of transaction rule table is inside Excel. Now what I want is, I want to look up activity, and within the lookup activity, if you see, I will read this Excel file. This Excel file I have kept in some storage account. So here you can see this. This is the Excel file. Okay, this is the location of Excel file where the Excel file is set, and sheet name. So I have created a variable. So if you go inside this, uh, I will first check the link service. Yes, it is working. This is you will surprise that how the DS name, I mean the sheet name, is passed to this variable. So okay, so here is the provision. First of all, this is a link service. Okay, and this is the link service which link actually with the storage account where the Excel file is placed. Okay, now this is the parameter section. Okay, this is the parameter section. This is the connection of link service. And here I have specified the, see, the billing mapping.excel file. the Excel file I have specified here. Okay, and within parameter section I have defined a parameter DS sheet name. Okay, and I will assign some value dynamically to this name. So once I assign the value, what happens is, this is what the data set is, Excel data set. So it will receive some value, okay, in the DS sheet name. Okay, so this is the parameter which I have defined at the dataset level, and here I am passing the value of final table name, I mean this one. So final table name is passed to sheet name parameter. Where this parameter is, if you go inside this data set for Excel, there are parameter section. Here I have defined a parameter DS sheet name, and if you pass some value to this parameter like this variable file name table name, so it will be assigned to data sheet name, and then respective sheet of Excel will be made available for you for reading. Okay, so and it will read it. Then this is these are the user properties. So we are not dealing with this, we are just passing the for table name, and that table name act as a sheet name for Excel, and then we will read whatever lookup gives us, I mean whatever the data inside this sheet, that will be read and will be returned to our next block. So in storage, in stored procedure, if you see the setting section, there is a link service. It says that, okay, right now server, it may be anything, but right now my stored procedure is placed there, and the stored procedure name is so and so, plus the three parameters, I mean the table name, the file name, and the column meta, I mean the table metadata, I mean the call table schema. Okay, everything, these three things I am passing to our stored procedure. So this is how I am passing it. I will show you how I am passing. It's simple. This is the table name. This is the input file name. Main thing is this one. How I am passing the column information. I mean all the column of that particular table. How I am passing it. So there is a. I will just take it out so you can analyze it properly. So this is how I have done the search Excel activity. I mean lookup. This lookup, whatever the output is, I mean whole rows and columns of that particular sheet of Excel. Okay, that comes here. I used actually it will return you some JSON kind of thing. So I use this particular operator join, and every element, every row, okay, every row, each row have, let's say, 5 or 6 columns like this. So every row should be separated by a pipe operator. That's why I have used pipe. So this is the pipe operator. So it will combine all the rows in a single string separated by pipe. Then it contains some some escape character and double quote like thing. So I am replacing those things. I don't need those because it will unnecessarily add the complications. So I am replacing the double quote character as well as the escape character by some empty string. Okay, so how the final output will be like, I am showing you, just a minute. So this is how my stored procedure look like, where these are the three parameters, and the same three parameters I have to specify while creating this activity of stored procedure. See, the column metadata, packet file name, and TBL name without at the rate. Okay, but in stored procedure, if you see, you will see the at the rate symbol. Okay, so this is how my stored procedure looks like. Now in this stored procedure, what I am receiving, packet file, table name, and column metadata. I can show you something like this. This is my packet file name with some prefix, with some table name, and then hyphen, and then some timestamp. Okay, so this is a suffix part. Packet file name I received. I received a table name also, which is this one as a second parameter, and how the column metadata looks like. So let's understand this column metadata. For that I have to wrap it. Word wrap. This is how the column metadata looks like. Okay, so this column metadata actually contain table name, the column name, the data type, and lot of other things. Okay, but what we need from them, we will extract it in this stored procedure. So till now I have shown you the this flow up to the stored procedure. So this is how the pipeline looks like. Loop files again, directory, on directory it will search for files, child items, for each loop. Now within for each loop I have created a normal variable, iteration variable x, then if condition, and then get the table name, then get a lookup, the excel, get hold on the excel, and then call a stored procedure. Now within that stored procedure, what I am doing, that I will explain you, but before that I have to run this pipeline. So let me do some arrangement for that. So this connection was failed because pipeline was not started. I just restarted the pipeline. Let me test the connection. Yeah, connection is successful. So now we will check whether it can proceed with this stored procedure and with this pipeline or not. So you know that each variable or if condition or variable or lookup or stored procedure, they all have their setting, and in that setting we can specify whatever the dynamic expression is. Okay, like this one, expression and value and all that. Similarly, if you go back to our pipeline level, so this empty white space is nothing but a pipeline, and in that pipeline we have the activities. Okay, so if I click on this, I can have the parameters also. So this is pipeline level parameter. If I click on this empty space and if I get parameter, these are pipeline level parameters. If I go inside activity, so whatever parameters we will create here or pass here, 1 minute, let's say I am in this data set. So in this data set, whatever I do, these are the data set level parameters. Okay, and in the data set, so we have, I think, used the data set level parameter somewhere in our lookup activity. Okay, so what we are doing is we are handling the two type of parameters. One is the pipeline level parameter, another is the dataset level parameter. There are some triggers also. So if you create a new trigger, so whatever pipeline level parameters you have created, you will have to create, let's say a new trigger if you create. So again, you can specify you have to pass some value to this trigger, because this value of trigger, the pipeline parameters, uh, that will be required by trigger also, because trigger is nothing but a representation of pipeline. Okay, I'm not creating any trigger right now, but yes, we can use, either you can create a tumbling window trigger or a schedule trigger or a event based trigger or any custom event also. So, and you can add dependencies in advanced section. If you are using tumbling window, there is a advanced section where you can use the dependencies, and there you can, one trigger can be dependent on its previous trigger, something like that. Okay, this is concurrency, delay, retry policy, and interval in second, cooling period, something like that. So I'm just discarding it. I don't want to create a trigger. Okay, but I want to run this pipeline. So let's validate the pipeline first. A validation is okay, and let's debug the pipeline. So what it will do, it will start with this loop on files, then it will go to for each, then inside for each it will go, and then everywhere you will see a tick mark if it process successfully up to the storage procedure, it will show tick marks. So you can see the process here. So search for Excel is failed, so let me check why it is failed, and I will be back in a moment. Yeah, the issue was with some formatting of that Excel, because you have seen that every Excel file have some encoding. Actually, I have when I use my files, so and I upload it. So I uploaded it with some wrong kind of encoding, UTF encoding. That was the issue. Now, if I again debug the pipeline, and now you will see that Excel and everything will get properly executed. So let's wait. So here we are searching for the folder in that particular location, and the child items also, and I will show you output of this pipeline once these are the once everything gets succeed. And we have the output here. Here also actually you can see the output, input output. So I want to show you the output of each step. Like the first step is loop on files. So where is that loop on files? This one. Okay. So what is the output? So see, this is the folder DS. I mean the data set and child atom. Okay. And if you see the child atom, what child atom I received. So this is the name of that file. Okay. Where is the folder name? So folder name is so these are the two files. This is the okay, there is only one file in my folder. So the folder name is inside this setting. Okay, you can see the folder DS. If you open the folder DS, this is the folder. Parquet crude packets. Within the packets file, okay, there is one file, okay, and that file is actually scanned. Sorry, this is the parquet crude is the folder name. Parquets is the folder name, and within that folder act as a dataset for us, and there are some files. So child atoms is nothing but the file. So if I again go back to the output and see, so I can see that child item contain one file, parquet file, okay, having the name so and so, action, work, zip, history. Now the second block is for each block. So if you go to for each block, what it is doing, simply it is handling the collection. So here the item count is 1, it may be 2, 3, 4, depend on how many files you have. Inside for each block, as you know, there is a variable input file and then if condition. Go back, check the variable input file. That variable contain whatever the name of file, each file, each atom, like x, okay, x variable, iteration variable. So it contains this value. So what we have to do with this value, as we have seen in our pipeline, this x value is passed to if condition evaluate, and finally set table name. I mean the final table name variable is assigned. Let's check final table name variable where it is. This is if condition, then final table name, okay, true or false based on that. So yes, so see it has extracted, I mean the on notepad as I have shown you, the substring part, okay. So that substring part is evaluating to a variable, sorry, table name. So this is the table name which that particular variable received. Okay, once it received the variable name here, Now it will go to lookup. Now let's see the output of that lookup, how that lookup looks like. So after this, the set table name, yeah, then this is a lookup. Search for Excel is a lookup. It also contains the same thing. I mean, whether it is a if or else, both contain the same table name. Goes for lookup. Inside lookup, you can see how the values looks like. I mean, the Excel sheet, table name, column name, data type, and all that. But I don't want to pass such huge data, okay, to stored procedure. What I will do, so in the stored procedure, you have seen I have used some join or something like that. See this one. So whatever used data, this is the used data. Again, I will show you the data, how the data looks like. When I can copy this out to show you how it looks like, it's terrible. Okay, this is the data, how it looks like. And using such dynamic expression, what I will do, that I will bring it in a single line. Okay, I will using this replace join, using these two functions. What I will do, I will bring it in a single line and pass to stored procedure. So how it will looks like. So if you see, this is the stored procedure, but the parameter part of this looks like this. So I take it out, and again I will show you how I did it. So if I what wrap it, see, this is the parameter, this is the second parameter, this is the third parameter. I mean, the first parameter name is column metadata, I think. So yeah, it is column metadata, and the value is so and so. It was something like this. So these three parameters. Now how these parameters are bring to a single line. I mean, originally it was in this format, then I brought it to this format. So this is the table name, column name, zip sequence, data type, data length, data precision, data scale, and then you can see a pipe. Okay, this is the pipe separator. Based on pipe separator, I separate the different items or different rows of that Excel sheet. Okay, this is the operator. So similarly, second line, second row, and similarly there are number of rows. If you want to see number of how many rows, I can word wrap it. These many rows, and every row is end with pipe operator. So in this way, I have brought all this data, and now stored procedure. So stored procedure also successfully executed, and that stored procedure contains some logic where I'm taking these three parameters as I have shown you. So these three parameters, one metadata, packet file, and table name, and based on that it is doing some creation of external. This is how I have created the merge statement, where external table is created which act as a source, and existing table which act as a target, and using merge, okay, based on the modified date, uh, it compare two records, okay, and if they are not matching, then we will simply insert the values. So this is all the dynamic query I have created, and I am executing the dynamic query. External table, yeah, the external table creation is something like this, where we have to specify your create external table command along with the table name, along with the column list. Okay, whatever column list I have taken out, that column list appear here, and there is a path of packet file which is here in this variable. Data source name, file format is a packet. Such kind of architecture can be built up. Okay, thank you for watching this session.